Hey guys, Stucky here. You ever wanted to try the best version of the Action Network app? Well, now is the perfect opportunity to do so because we have a special offer to celebrate the month of March and the NCAA tournament. You can get pro access for just $9.99 for the first month. That will give you access to things like Sean Kerner's player prop projections, which are invaluable, real-time money percentages, and our model's biggest edges, and much more. All you have to do is head over to actionnetwork.com/madness. That's actionnetwork.com/madness and get there before the deal expires. Cheers. Let's start with the OVC. Let's talk a little Ohio Valley. And you guys weren't around for the first episode, but I'll always recap, the format first, and we'll talk who we think is going to win, matchups potentially like, but sleepers, maybe potential long shot throws. And I always comment on the format of these conference tournaments. I do not like a lot of the ones that don't reward the top seeds, and the OVC certainly does. So the way that this format works, all the games are played in Evansville, Indiana. 8 teams make it. Top 4 get a bye, with the top 2 receiving a double bye. So we'll kick off on Tuesday and finish up on Monday, This will start on Wednesday, the first round, and the championship will be played Saturday, March 9th. The first thing that jumps out to me is, I should mention Morehead State kind of got jobbed. They finished with the 3 seed, even though they finished in a 3-way tie for first place, but they lost the tiebreaker with Little Rock getting the 1, UT Martin getting the 2. And it really came down to a 3-game losing streak that Morehead had earlier this month. And, they lost their only other games that they lost. They had a brutal non-conference schedule. The only other games they lost after November 20th, before that 3-game losing streak, by 1 at Indiana. And then at SIUE when they shot 3 of 27 from 3. But that 3-game losing streak coincided with Jordan Lathan being out 2 of those games. And they still only lost by 1 at Little Rock. But because they got the 3 seed, they got to win an extra game. And they're going to have to win 3 in 3 days. They don't have a deep bench. I think they're 343rd in bench minutes per KenPom. But they slow the game down to a crawl, which UT Martin and Little Rock certainly do not. So I think that helps them. I personally think Morehead State, who is the favorite, you can find like plus 135 out there, is the best team by far in this league. I think they're going to win it. They have, when Lathan's in there, and you're going to talk about one of their other better players, Calabrese, they just have elite size across the board at the wing positions that are just matchup nightmares. And then they play a deep drop on defense with Miles, a Xavier transfer, 7-footer who kind of anchors that defense. I really like this team. I know that they're the favorite, but I think they're cutting down the nets. They can slow down UT Martin in transition. Their one weakness is they turn the ball over. UT Martin does not turn you over. Little Rock, a little tougher of a matchup because they have good size on the perimeter, can score at the rim, turn you over a little more. But I think this is Morehead's conference. And I will also throw out, playing Evansville. Morehead's had a ton of success, and they'll get a home court bump here. There'll be a lot of Morehead fans here, which certainly won't hurt. I'll throw it to you, Calabrese, first. You have some thoughts on Morehead, and what are you seeing in the OVC?
I agree with you. It's going to be challenging to win, that extra game, but I still love what they bring to the table. You hit on all the major points, and you left me Riley Minix, who, for those who are not in the know, NAIA, NABC All-American at the lower level, playing down at Southeastern in Florida. He's 6'7", 230, averaging 20 and 10 per game, can knock down threes. He's nails from the line. He is a player that can put the whole team on his back, not just for this tournament, but also throw a scare into a high seed come March Madness if they go ahead and punch their ticket. They're 15-4 straight up since Christmas, and you talked about some of their head-to-heads. They split with UT Martin, losing by 6 at their place in a competitive game, and they lost by 1.
And that was without Lathan, too.
Exactly, and they lost by 1 at Little Rock without Latham. So I view all of this from a personnel standpoint as them coming in with the best starting 5. And then from a head coaching perspective, Preston Spradlin can just flat out coach. 4 straight 20+ win seasons, 1 NCAA tournament berth, 1 NIT appearance. And I'm sure that Suck is familiar with him. He came up under Coach Cal at Kentucky as a GA and then a director of operations. He's clearly learned how to evaluate talent, going and grabbing a guy from the NAIA ranks and turning him into an all-conference kind of player. So I really like Morehead. I think they're the pick. I like the fact that we're getting plus money as well.
Greg, I will throw it to you next. And yeah, I mean, Minix has been great. He's good defensively too. I mean, Miles is the star on that end, but this team just has such strong length and athleticism on the perimeter when they're fully healthy with Lathan in the lineup. Are you seeing the same, Greg, or is there someone else that you're targeting? UT Martin, they want to run, they can shoot threes, but that is a strength of Morehead. They would play in the semis. They could still slow you down, can defend in transition, limit transition opportunities, and they're really good defending the perimeter. But any one you're buying or a potential long shot here?
Yeah, I'm going to buy a different team to win this tournament, actually. I think you guys nailed all the points. I think Morehead is the best team here. I think they got jobbed with the tiebreaker. I don't think that's any small feat at all. To be the 3 seed, to have to play an extra game. But not just that. Like, to me, no disrespect to Western Illinois, who, if we're talking long shots later, I will throw them in the group based on price. But I think this is a 3-team race for who's going to win this. I think it could be Morehead. I think it could be Little Rock. I think it could be UT Martin. Only one of those teams is only going to have to play one game against that path, right? I think Little Rock has, I mean, they start in the semi, but they're going to win that game likely. And then you're in the championship against whoever wins between Morehead and UT Martin. That's just a much easier path price-wise. I think the value is on Little Rock, plus 225 compared to plus 115. And just some numbers on Little Rock. I think they've been really, really good, really, since they got Mikal Mitchell back earlier this season. He was out until December 18th. They had the 339th ranked defense in the sport prior to Mitchell being available. Since then, it's jumped 166 spots. That's no small jump at all. This team has been really, really good late. They've won 9 consecutive games. They're 2-1 against that group of Morehead and UT Martin. Now, Lathan was out. That's a big swing. If it does get to that final game and it's Morehead against Little Rock, at that point, I certainly would probably bet on Morehead to win, but I just think this path is wide open for Little Rock. You got the 1 seed, you got the luck, capitalize on it. I think that's the valuable play.
Yeah, Mitchell's been very important defensively. This is kind of transfer Little Rock. I mean, they have KK Robinson, who's at Arkansas, then A&M, then now Little Rock. Mikal Mitchell, Maryland, Rhode Island, Arkansas, and now Little Rock. His 4th school. But yeah, they've seemed to, all these transfers that they assembled have seemed to come together. And you noted the importance of Mitchell on the defensive end. And Chaplin, another transfer. He's been really good, especially offensively, the South Florida transfer. Looking at the bracket, yeah, it's hard for me to I can't argue your case with Little Rock having such an easy path to the championship, whereas Morehead will have to win 1 extra game to get there. And I did note they don't have a deep bench. Is there anyone I can't personally, out of the 5 through 8 seeds that would have to win Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 games in 4 days? Is there anyone you can make a case for? You're shaking your head no, Calabrese. Anyone you can make a case for, Greg?
The only one I would even put a tiny asterisk next to is SIUE, just because DeMarco Minor's awesome. But no, I think this is a 3-horse race.
Yeah, SIUE, they did beat Little Rock and Morehead at home. So at least they have that going for them. Yeah, the Minor's a stud. Rayshawn Taylor can get hot. So yeah, possibly. And then they would face Western Illinois, which is like the ideal quarterfinal opponent. So I don't hate that call. But I'm gonna go. I'm saying Morehead cuts down the nets. Calabrese, you're in agreement?
Yes, I'm on Morehead. I played it. It's only open at one book right now that I can find it. I'm hoping that more come live in the next 24 hours. Maybe we can get a slightly better number.
Greg, who you picking to cut down the nets? Morehead, or are you rolling with Little Rock?
I'm gonna take Little Rock, guys. I appreciate you trying your best to persuade me here, but let me throw one more number at you and see if I can get a Hail Mary here. Since February 1st, gentlemen, Little Rock 85th in all of college basketball per Bart Torvik. Morehead State 154th. Think the value's on Little Rock. I'm gonna rock with them.
Rocking with Little Rock. I will say though, since the month of February, they did crush UT Martin at home. They've had a lot of blowout wins, but they beat Morehead by 1 without Latham. They played a lot of the dregs. Like they played EIU, they played Southern Indiana, SEMO, Lindenwood, Tennessee State, Tennessee Tech. So they've kind of padded their efficiency numbers with some blowouts over bad teams, but that matters too. All right, good stuff in the OVC. It's finally March, so you know what that means. It's time to say top of the morning to the most famous St. Patrick's Day Shamrock Shavers, our new sponsor, Manscaped. Don't just chase rainbows this March. Make your own pot of gold and groom your little leprechaun with the leaders in below-the-kilt care. Clear your clover forest with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com and use code BBOC for 20% off plus free shipping. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is your new lucky charm, and it's fully waterproof. So go ahead, shave by the misty moors, shave under a waterfall, shave while betting a second half total. The world is yours. Get 20% off and free shipping with code BBOC at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with code BBOC at manscaped.com. This St. Patrick's Day, make sure your hairy little leprechaun is luckier than ever with Manscaped.